Now, you and I actually might differ in this.
Yeah.
I'm in the Jamie O'Hara camp because Jamie was saying last night, Deli Alli brought in, started the match, of course, in the Carabao Cup quarter-final last night against Stoke City, so he got his chance. Did he take his chance? That is another question. But Mourinho afterwards didn't hesitate to call out Deli Alli for getting it wrong while he was playing for Tottenham last night. And, of course, not for the first time, when he talks about a player like this, he did it in the public domain. Is he right to do that? I think it's unfair on Deli Alli. I'm a Jamie O'Hara in that.
I think there's picking fights with big players in dressing rooms to try and get the dressing room around to your way of thinking. That's one thing. Casillas at Madrid was a very influential figure, and I think he wanted to marginalise him. Pogba was a very newsworthy figure, and I think he wanted to bring people into line with his way of thinking. The situation with Luke Shaw is one I would draw parallels between Luke Shaw and Deli Alli, because despite people's protestations that he publicly humiliated Luke Shaw on a number of occasions, a style of management is when you stop bothering with somebody, that's worse than when you bother with them. So basically, when you can't even be bothered to talk about them, then they're in real trouble. When you can be bothered to talk about somebody, it brings a message. Now, there'll be a school of people that think that his treatment of Luke Shaw at the time was very harsh, and I think I saw all the bleeding hearts coming out and saying it at the time.
Yeah, but it was.
But I think Luke Shaw's career is back on rails now, in part for some of the tough love, harsh medicine that José Mourinho meted out to him. I think an element of that might have put him back on the right track, because he wasn't going on the right track, physically or performance-wise. Now, would I do this? Would I volunteer information in the public domain to be able to create a news cycle that people will leap upon because it's Deli Alli, it's José Mourinho, it's Tottenham Hotspur, so on and so forth? I probably wouldn't. I'd want to concentrate his mind in private.
Well, there you go.
But styles make fights, and people do things in different ways for different reasons. Mourinho is an incredibly successful manager across the board, across countries, right? Irrespective of what you think, and I thought his time at Man United was a disappointment at the end because it became very dark. He still got them to be second in the league. He still won 2 trophies for them in his first season. OK, the wheels come off in the third season, which is atypically often the case with Mourinho, and was also based upon the fact he couldn't get precisely what he wanted in terms of players that they then went on and signed a year later, in terms of Harry Maguire, to be able to build upon. There is no right or wrong way of dealing with footballers. There's the way that's in front of you, and if Mourinho feels that there is a reason for dragging this individual into the public domain and making it a bit small, because it's a bit small-minded. That example that he gave about Deli Alli causing a problem for the side. Yeah. It took 27 seconds from the moment he did that little flick for it to go back, forward, sideways, and in the back of their net. And there were many other passages of the play that Spurs could have intervened and perhaps broken that down.
Yes, yeah.
So there is reasons. He's a very clever operator, Mourinho. I don't always agree with his style, but there is always method to his madness.